Very good evening and welcome to the Havelock Sports Club grounds where we are under lights here for this big match between Havelocks and Army in a top of the table versus mid-table clash here on what is turning out to be a lovely evening for rugby. The rain clouds are gathering here above Havelocks. We are hoping they'll stay away, but the weather is nice and the lack of the heat should help both these teams to turn out a nice open game of rugby today. We have with me in the commentary box Mr. Abdullah Yusuf, former Royal captain, and Dinuk Bhaskar, and also one of our stalwarts here in the ThePapare commentary box. Good evening, gentlemen. It looks like it's going to be a very interesting game, especially because Army came so close to beating CRNFC last week. They will be confident, and Havelocks, hit by injury, will need to come in and make sure that they don't slip up in what could be a banana skin game.
Yeah, Shahanaka, it should be a good contest to watch, especially young players, a lot of young players in the Havelocks team, and much improved players coming in for Army, and it should be a cracker tonight.
Looking at the Havelocks team now, and we have some changes made for Havelocks. We've got in the midfield, Nishan Pereira reverting back to that number 13 position. He's opposite Hiranta Pereira. Kevin Dixon back at fullback as well. So some young talent. Lasindu Vishan, Karuna Thilaka starting at number 8 as well. Abdullah, that third row looks pretty interesting. Two young guys, former Isipatana captain, former science captain, and Sudarshan Muthutantre, also the Thomian, coming in there. You think that Army third row is going to have problems against this lot?
Yes, Shanaka, good evening. Yes, I think it's definitely going to be the case. Sudarshan Muthutantre, I think, will be the key player for Havelocks today. He's been an inspiration to this team. He's led from the front, and I think he will lead the way for the rest of the guys to follow. Also, I think it's a crucial game for Havelocks. As you mentioned, it could be a potential banana skin, but they won't be only looking for the win alone. I think they will also look to try and get the bonus point to remain in contention with Kandy, because as the standings are, they look as if they are the only team that can, although a long shot, can get close to Kandy.
Indeed, they have to win every single game from here with a bonus point if they are to go to Kandy with any hope of wresting the title from the Kandy lads. They're second in the table at the moment. And moving on to the Army Sports Club team, Asoka Jalalal at captain. He's been playing more minutes than the coach would have anticipated early on, and that's inspiring this Army team. But once again, the guys that they're looking to is that midfield of Imanka and Dinush and Aryapala, the two brothers, and also Gayan Salinda at the back. Hasn't had a great season since he started off. The last couple of games have been pretty average for him, but they will need to be on top of their game today if they're going to make a difference, isn't it?
Yes, Shanaka. I think Gayan Salinda also will be a crucial player, not only for his positional play, but in terms of the place kicking as well. He's been slightly off the target in the last few games, and they're very unfortunate to go down to Sia in the last game, playing at home, crossed the line at the last moment, but unfortunately were held up over the try line. So I'm sure they will be all out to make amends for that tonight.
Yes, the man that did that was Madhushan Chandrasekhar. Thought he'd scored a peach of a try in the final minute, but was held up by Mekalankar Prabodha. That video is available on our Facebook page and the ThePapare.com site as well. So make sure you have a look at it if you haven't already. But looking at the replacements benches as well, we have a lot of depth in this Havelocks team. Abdullah, we've got Janik Jasuria to come on. He's a big man as well, could make a difference. Rohit Rajapaksa on the bench as well. Vimukti Rahula, the Josephian stepper, he's there as well, and Rimzi Jamaldeen actually drops to the bench this time around. So Coach Laga going with the experience of Samantha Lakshan in this game, so lots to look forward to. And making a welcome return is Rehan Tyagaraja also at fullback and back three cover, and he's coming back after quite a long layoff. So I think the Havies fans will be very happy that the quickest man in Sri Lanka is back in that number 23 jersey. But for Army, not as much cover on the bench, so they're going to have to rely on their starters.
Yes, Shanaka, I think an embarrassment of riches for Havelocks on the bench. It could prove crucial in this game if it turns out to be tight till about the 50th to 60th minute. I think the replacements from the bench could make all the difference.
Looking forward to a big game here, entrusted to the caretaker of Irshad Kader, who will be assisted by his namesake Kada as well as Mr. Dinka Pires, who did yesterday's game between Sia and Navy. A close run thing yesterday in Valisara, 27-25 in favour of CRNFC, who keep the pressure on the top against the heavies, who can't afford to slip up today. So this game, even though it's against Army Dinuk, it's not going to be a game that Havelocks can take lightly.
Yeah, they have to take this very seriously. As Abdullah mentioned before, they have to win almost all the games with a bonus point if they have to go with any hopes to candy. So that will be something interesting to see, and also to see these players, the management of players, as we have to speak about that. So much injuries in the Havelocks team this season. Danushka Ranjan is still sitting out, is a big worry for them. And that's something that Havelocks will have to manage properly and get their best 15 as well to candy when they go there.
Yes, that's a massive name that's not on the team sheet this evening, and that's the one of Danushka Ranjan, still suffering a little bit from a knee injury, not the one he injured in school, but the other one. So that's a little bit of a concern for Ranjan. It's not only a concern for Laga and the Havelocks team, it's a massive concern for Sri Lanka and Matt Turner and the Sevens team as well. So hopefully he will be back in action sooner rather than later, but also losing guys in the forwards. Also, they've lost a few players. Chenal De Silva is unfortunately, Chenal Das rather, is not playing this match. He leaves the country on Tuesday, and we've got a lot of young players in this back five of the forward pack for Havelocks, who will really need to step up to the plate if they're going to make a difference against what is quite a well-drilled Army 8, isn't it? This team sheet, although it doesn't have a lot of stars, they've been getting better every game.
Yeah, they have been. Ashoka Jayalal is one inspirational leader that they have. And today they'll have to fight with big names like Sudarshan Muthu Santri and Havelocks front row, which has been very good even with open play. So that will be something that interesting to see, and a lot to see how Rahul De Silva and Samantha Lakshan will use their good. Will Rahul De Silva can provide that good ball to Samantha Lakshan and their backs.
Yes, Rahul De Silva crossing over from CRNFC at the beginning of this season, and a big loss for Sia, but they're not feeling it too much because Dylan Soiza and Kavindu De Costa played very well yesterday for them, but Rahul has got to make a name for himself at the club and knock on the door of selection for the national team as well. Abdullah, how have you seen his progress since he moved to Havelocks and has been starting regularly?
Yeah, I think the fact that he's getting a lot of game time has helped his game. He's played extremely well in the first round. Was slightly off call in the first couple of matches, but I mean, he's a quality player, and I have little doubt that he'll step up when the time arises.
So Samantha Lakshan is ready to get this game underway for us here under lights at Havelock Sports Club grounds, the only ground with this facility, unfortunately, and it's good to see games kicking off at night time. Gives the players a lot more respite as well. They don't have to play in the debilitating heat, and hopefully the quality of rugby as a result and the intensity will go up as well. Everyone's waiting for the referee to get on the pitch. There's a little bit of concern as to what's happening on the bench. A few too many players on the bench and officials on the bench by the looks of things. So once they get that sorted out, we'll be ready to go in just a couple of minutes. Welcome to ThePapare.com, where we bring you all the action of the Dialog Rugby A-Division League tournament. It's hotting up in the middle of the table. Kandy are well clear at the top. Havelocks are the only team that can peg them back. But in the middle, between Havies and Navy and Police and CRNFC, that's a really nice battle going on there, isn't it, Abdullah?
Yes, the results of this past week has turned everything upside down. At the end of the first round, Navy were in third place, but after their defeat yesterday, they will go down to fifth, I believe, at the end of this week's action. So a slip up by Havies here could make things even more interesting for the second position. So I'm sure Havies would like to avoid that.
Yes, there's a lot going on, and let's see whether Army can make the Dialog Rugby League table even more exciting. Manoj Silva is the one who picks up the first kickoff and has a confident run straight into the Havies forwards. Ashan Bandara, the nice high kick and a good chase. Kevin Dixon is immediately under pressure. And that's a good bit of defense from the Havies forwards, who got back nicely. This is Senal Dilaka. Did well to get the ball back quickly to his mate Sumesh Madhushan, who has been such a find for Havelocks. The former Royal second row. Lovely ball from Rahul De Silva to Samantha Lakshan, who had not a lot going on outside him. Not rolling away, number 5, says referee Ushad Kader. So, as we were saying before kickoff, Abdullah, referees are getting much more strict on the breakdown, and that's good news for the intensity and the speed of the game.
Very right, Shanaka. I think referee Carter laying down the rules at the very beginning, sending a very clear message that he's not going to have any nonsense at the breakdown. And I think the referees have been very consistent in that aspect, and a lot of credit should go to them for that, because the breakdown is a critical area in the game of rugby, and it will decide the tempo of the game as well. More infringements you have at the breakdown, the slower the pace of the game will be.
Havelock's changing the angle there from one pod to another pod. There's a good bit of technical play. Probably a little too early in the game for that, but Ganindu hands it off to Liston Karunathilaka. And now Havies have some space at the back. A lovely run from Udita. Coming in on the switch, Samantha Lakshan. That's a nice flat ball, but being intercepted. But from an illegal position, so have the Army team were offside. They need to be careful not to give away too many penalties. Already have given Havelock's opportunities to get easily into their territory. And the Havies will be very happy to roll this one over from here if they can. Interesting ploy there, Abdullah, the first line out to move it from the back pod to the front pod. Just changing the angle of play there, but they didn't try to set up a maul from that move.
Yes, the thing is, they were outside their 25, so it was a bit of a. I'm not sure whether that would have been the correct call, but no harm done as Heavies get a penalty, and now they'll look to roll this over the Army line.
Ganindu Lakshan with a nice clean catch there, the Isipatanian second row. And the Army's up from referee Carter, so Army have illegally defended this. That's a nice offload from Dushmanta Priyadarshana. And unfortunately, Sudarshan Muthutantri can't dot the ball down, but here's Priyadarshana going by himself. Took a quick tap. Is he over? Yes, it is. Dushmanta Priyadarshana scores the first try in the first 5 minutes for the Havelocks. And you can see that this Havies team is here to play today. They've shown lots of intensity at the start, and they've shown good technical competence also in their execution. That was a good collection. And they set them all up nicely, forced the errors from Army, and as the penalty came, they made them pay the nook. So that's good conversion of territory into points.
Yeah, very good play by Havelocks. Just was worried with that decision to go for touch rather than going for 3 points early in the game. But so much confidence by these players they knew that they're going to score a try, and they did. So something that's very good for Coach Laga and the bench. Will be looking forward to a positive game, and we are looking forward to a good game of rugby as well from Havelocks.
Well, good to see also the referee encouraging positive rugby there, and making sure that defences don't get an extra advantage. And that's just wide from Samantha Lakshan, who hasn't been a regular starter. Rimzi Jamaldeen was the man that Coach Laga had entrusted with the kicking duties and the fullback duties as well. But what do you do, Abdullah, when you've got guys with the talent of Jamaldeen and Kevin Dixon? It's a hard job, isn't it?
Hard job, but also I think it's sending out a very clear message, because I think they want Kevin at the back because they seem to be going for tries. I think that's a very clear message. Rimzi is an attacking player, but he's not in the same class as Kevin is with the ball in hand.
Collected there by Liston Karunathilaka. Quick ball from Rahul. Samantha Lakshan on the switch, and that goes straight into the wall of the Army players who are gathered there. And now it's Army's turn to swarm into the Havelocks 22. Lovely ball by Kevin Dixon to Sadun Herath. Rahul De Silva with the left-footed box kick, such an advantage on that right touchline. Manoj Silva took that beautifully, read it well, and Sudarshan Muthutantri was the first man there making the tackle. Referee's got his arm up, and it's another penalty. Thought that was a little unfortunate there, because I thought Manoj Silva did really well. And he's a bit bewildered as to what that penalty was all about, but the referee's explaining it to him, and I'm sure he'll put his head down and trudge back 10. Well, it's only a knock forward. I thought it was a penalty. The referee's arm had gone up a little bit further than the 90. And it had rolled forward on the ground, so that's what the penalty was for. First scrum of the game should be interesting. Army good body positions. They've been a good scrum this tournament so far.
Yes, I think they'll be testing the Havelock's pack. There's no doubt about that. Havelocks from the initial few minutes are showing a lot of intent to attack from all areas of the field. So I'm sure they will look to open the game out as much as possible.
Off the back is Isan Karunatilaka. Brought to ground is a good find for Havelocks, a very talented player, the former Science College captain. Still going is Sudarshan Muthutantri. Umesh Madhushan, the short ball. And now the penalty comes to Army. Not coming through the gate, says referee Irshad Kader. And that's good defensive play by Army there. Kara breaking off the open side, Abdullah. And yesterday we noticed we had two number 8s who are prone to break, Arun Kumar and Omalka Gunaratna. But they didn't break as much. And as a result, the game was actually quite fast.
Yeah, the thing is, it's the options and when you decide to take it as well. On this occasion, if you're on the right flank, you're always open with the scrum half is on the opposite side. So it always depends on the options and the opportunities as well.
Good line out there for Army taken by Suramya Herath. And that's a well-constructed, quickly constructed maul. So Havelock's immediately under pressure and it's still going. They've walked this one 10 meters forward already. It's stopped, so they will have to use it. And now the Army player breaks through. Sudarshan Muthutantri throws him to the ground, but Ashan Bandara has it. Lovely step through from Bandara. Lovely ball out also to Aryapala, who's over for the try. That's a beautiful bit of play from Ashan Bandara, who sliced the defense open. And a back of the hand flick to Dinushan Aryapala, who scored the try. And Army have hit back, so it's not going to be plain sailing for Havelocks tonight.
Yes, what a fantastic reply by Army there. It looked in the first few minutes that Havis was going to have the game their own way, but Army hitting back instantly, and what a fantastic try there. Fly half penetrated first line of defense, and Sonny Billy Williams style offload for Aryapala to go over.
Yes, there was a lovely bit of play from Ashan Bandara. He's been taking it to the line. He's created a few things last week against CRNFC as well. He created quite a bit. Was not shy to take the ball to the line, and not many players apart from Fazil Marija in the number 10 position like to take that ball up to the line in Sri Lankan rugby. So defences will be tested today.
Yes, Shanik, and the critical thing there to notice was the quick ball. So the fly half had front foot ball. The heavies line were caught flat-footed, and that gave them the opportunity to penetrate that first line of defense. And
that's another bad miss from Gayan Salinder. Not straight out in front, but a very gettable kick. Seems to be curling them from right to left quite significantly, which means that he needs to start his kicks a little bit further out of the right-hand post. But that's a bad miss because going into the lead was a psychological advantage here at Havelocks. And 7 points to 5 would have done this Army team nicely. Lakshan with a good restart. Taken by Nishanta Kobbakadwa, the experienced Army player. Now Asoka Jayalal quickly shifts it on to Manoj Silva. Real contest at the breakdown with Muthutantri making a nuisance of himself. That's a good kick from the Army fly half Mohammad Rizvi, and leaving it behind is Samantha Lakshan with a good chase. Was Madhushankar, and now Karunatilaka. Kevin Dixon will come away with it. Dixon just can't get the offload away to his own player, and Aryapala manages to hold it up. But there's just been a foot in touch. Dinka Pirisa's flag came up. And Kevin Dixon had just stepped momentarily out, but you can see the intent of both teams. Dinuk, I think we're going to have a cracking game today.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a fantastic game. Nice to see wingers chasing down the kicks and putting pressure on the ball catches. And Lakshan was under real pressure there, thanks to Kevin Dixon, who came to the rescue and unfortunately stepping outside.
Just to remind you that the first round game finished 27-22 in favor of Army. No team got the bonus point, and here's a good run straight down the middle by Randita, the Havelock swinger, that was good work on the outside. And Rahul De Silva just bundled into touch. But Havelock showing that they can be dangerous out wide. So Randita Varnapura, he's not a household name, but he's got a bit of pace on him, Dinuk.
Yeah, he was nice to see. Quickly stepped out of the Army winger and tried to run around him. And fortunately had one man, didn't have enough support to throw the ball in. Could have been a nice try if it have worked it properly.
Samira Vikramasinghe throws in, and Rizvi with the nice box kick. Oh, it's almost beautifully taken by the Army winger Sudaraka Dikkumbura, but he just knocked it forward. He was surprised, I think, for that Varnapura or Dixon didn't come for it, so he was so surprised to see the ball, he actually knocked it on. But that's exposed the defense of Varnapura, and Army will, I'll be very surprised if they don't use that a few more times.
Yeah, it looks like we're just thinking of that. Havelock's back three need to pull their socks up now. They need to come into those high balls and make an impact. Otherwise, looks like Army wingers will run circles today if they did a kick and chase.
Looks like a very deliberate tactic from the Army coach. Good scrum from Havelock's. Nice ball, long ball out to Kevin Dixon, but he can't hang on to it. But he does manage to give it to Sandun Herat, the danger man. Stepping inside, three is Sandun Herat, fends off another one, still coming in field. Runs into his support, a lovely run from the Sri Lanka winger. Here it is for Lakshan, he's got numbers outside. Prasad Madhushankar runs a good angle but leaves the ball behind. And the referee brings it back for the knock forward. So the execution just letting them down, but again, good intent with Sandun Herat really making a difference with that power and pace on the right wing.
Yeah, Shanika, Sandun back to his familiar position of wing three-quarter. And I think Havelocks will do well to try and give him a bit of space, because if they give him a one-on-one situation with the fullback, I think you place your bets that he will go over for a try.
It's a good scrum for Havelocks to put some pressure on here. Right on the center line of the 22. And this big heavy pack will try and upset the Army number 8, Manoj Silva. But Army hold on well. That's a beautifully held scrum. And Rizvi has been entrusted with a lot of the cricking duties. Randita Varnapura, you can see why he was afraid to come for the previous one. Lovely chase from Dikkumbura. And a knock forward coming from Randita Varnapura. So you can see that Mohammad Rizvi has found his target for this evening. And it's going to be a long night for Randita Varnapura by the looks of things.
Yes, second error under the high ball by Varnapura. These are things that the opposition will latch on to pretty quickly. So I'm sure that he'll need a bit more support at the back there. They may look at probably dropping a forward back to support him. So I'm sure that Havelocks will have to reevaluate their defense when from the Army kicks.
It's a nice attacking scrum for Havelocks. And on the right flank, Abdullah, as you said, a nice move for Manoj Silva, but unfortunately he botches it. Rahul Silva does really well. And the penalty is coming. Sudarshan Mudutantri gives a long ball out to Nishan Pereira, who steps in nicely. And now Sandun Herat has some space on the outside. He gets around his man. Lovely ball inside, but unfortunately he doesn't find anybody. Rahul De Silva picks it up on the bounce. And now the penalty is still coming. There's not releasing in the tackle. Is referee Carter's signal. And again, Sandun Herat showing how dangerous he can be.
Yes, Shanika, and just like to comment on that call by Carter, referee Carter. I think it's very well spotted. For far too long, I think in local rugby scene, players, especially the defensive players, have got away with that kind of thing, and it just slows the pace of the game down. And I think referees clamping down on that more often will be a deterrent to the defensive team trying to slow the ball unlawfully.
Absolutely, it's very good to see. It's a call that hasn't been made, as you correctly pointed out. The sequence of events is that the ball goes down, there's a tackle made, and the tackler has to release before the tackled player releases the ball. And it's good to see that that's being clamped on. It was a call made quickly as well, Abdullah. That's important.
Yeah, that's right. I think Ricard is now showing his experience, being able to identify that as quickly as possible. So
Prasad Madhushankar making a bad mistake there, throwing it away.
yeah, Heavy's still taking the option of trying to go for the try at every given opportunity. Started off in that fashion. You'd probably have thought that with Army fighting back, they'd probably look at the option of going for the kick. But I think they've stayed true to their objective of today, of trying to get the bonus point as soon as possible.
Also might be an indication of the lack of faith in Samantha Lakshan's own kicking abilities. Manoj Silva really needs to pick this one up in time. Rahul De Silva with a beautiful tackle on him.
That was a good bit of pressure by the Heavy's front five, forcing the Army scrum half to take the ball on the back foot.
Oh, that was a dangerous bit of play from Kevin Dixon. He booted the ball inside and he's knocked it on in the face of the chase from Madhushan Chandrasekhara. And again, the lack of Havelock's confidence to actually catch the ball rather than play footy with it is letting them down a little bit.
So they're exposing themselves in the back three, aren't they, Shanaka, in this game? So in about the 20th minute now, and I think they have made quite a few errors, which could cost them later on into the game.
Mohammad Rizvi seems to have got the number of the two young players in the Army back three, in the Havelock's back three rather. Not a big fan of Manoj Silva's technique, Dinuk, at the back. He's almost not bound. He's waiting like a wicketkeeper for that ball to come through the channel. And he's got to get it to his feet and then pick it up from there. That's the right way to do it. But at the moment, he's just waiting for the ball to sort of roll into his hands like a bowling alley.
Yeah, and that'll make only 7 players in that front row, and Havelock shoving with 8. He's putting a lot of pressure on.
You can see him there with that one arm detached. Manages it this time around. Mohammad Rizvi. Madhushan Chandrasekhara comes here. It's a nice long cutout ball to Dik Kumura. Dik Kumura stays inside or just momentarily tries to traipse all over the touchline, but does well in the end. And the penalty is coming. It was for not giving the ball back, I think. And referee Irshad Khada very strict on that. To be fair to him, according to the letter of the law, the player must release the ball as soon as he is tackled. So it's an unusual penalty, but Dik Kumura has only himself to blame.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. I've seen even international matches. I once remember Drew Mitchell getting a yellow card against the All Blacks for doing that, throwing the ball away. So something that the wingers especially need to discipline themselves in those kind of areas. Once you roll into touch, let the ball go and try to go back.
So Madhushankar put under pressure with that crooked throw earlier. Umesh Madhushan at the front. They go to the back through Sudarshan Mututantri, and again the throw is not straight. And it's so important, isn't it, Dinuk? Once you've got a crooked throw at the back, it's really important to get your hooker's confidence back. You call a short line out. That's something that a lot of back row forwards don't understand sometimes, that you need to get your hooker back into the game. And I think that's an area where Sudarshan Mututantri really needs to improve his leadership, reading of the game.
Yeah, it happened once inside the 22, and this time around they should have gone to their number 2 jumper.
Senal Dilaka, it's barely bound here. Manoj Silva steps inside to the left shoulder of the former Isipathanian captain, championship winning captain. And Rizvi is charged down by Umesh Madhushan, but it's picked up nicely by Dik Kumbura now, who's barged to the floor by Lasindu Ishan. And now Army have a few numbers outside. Arya Pala gives it to his brother. And now he's some space for Madhushan Chandrasekhara. Spins out of one tackle, spins out of another. That's a good technique from the Army winger. Asuka Jailal puts his head down, trundles forward. Rizvi again. Now he's got Gayan Salinda joining the line with a long flat ball to Aryapala. This is good confidence from Army, but they're well inside their own 40-meter line. Probably need to do this in the Havelock's half. And now they've got numbers. Big bust up by Dilip and Niroshan. Gayan Salinda now with the long raking ball, but I think he's overcooked it. And that's a shame, but he had the penalty coming. So good phases put together there from Army. And is this going to come down once again, like yesterday's game, Dinuk? Is it going to come down to the strength and conditioning of these players?
Yeah, it looks like it. I think it'll be nice to see how these teams go till that 80th minute. You saw Navy and Sia yesterday fighting out hard in the end, and as you said, strength and conditioning very important these days. Most of the top class teams are perfect at it.
That's a pretty good kick from Gayan Salinda because it was from centre field. He had to get to the touchline and then go forward as well. Don't forget you can watch this game on the replay as well as get all the images from this match on our Facebook page. That's ThePapare.com Facebook page, facebook.com//ThePapare. We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter as well. Nice rolling ball from Army. And there's Havelock's coming in from the side. Referee's got his arm out. They scored from the last one. Let's see whether they can do it again. Asoka Jayalal. This is his other partner in the front row, Dilip and Niroshan. They're using the prop forwards to good effect here. Muthutantri with some great strength tries to wrestle the ball off the Army runner. Mohammad Rizvi to Ashan Bandara. Bandara with the low drop kick, but it's wide. But the referee has come back for the penalty for offside. Welcome back to live pictures here on ThePapare.com. Apologies for the break in transmission. And Nishan Pereira just dives over for the second or third try that Havelocks have scored so far. In the break, Javi is coming back with two nice tries. Hiranta Pereira scoring one of them and his midfield partner Nishan Pereira scoring the other one. So a commanding lead now building up for the Havelocks. It's 10 points to 8 now, 15 points to 8. And more than the actual score, Abdullah, it looks like the Army's heads have dropped. Their body language is telling a little bit because they're giving away way too many penalties.
Yeah, Shanaka, and just leading up to that third try, I think there was some excellent work by the Heavies pack from a rolling maul. They created all sorts of pressure and left the Army defense in tatters, which enabled Heavies backs to go over for a try.
It was good performance from the Havelocks forwards who have really been well drilled, and Coach Laga will be happy with the way these forwards are playing at the moment, Abdullah.
Yes, I'm sure he'll be extremely happy. They seem to have weathered that spell of pressure which Army put this young team under, and they have replied emphatically with 2 tries, and which gives them a bit of breathing space now.
So still the 7-point gap though, or it's actually a 9-point gap now. So Army need to hit back quickly before half time. They haven't wanted from Sadun Hera. Tries a little chip over the forward pack. Should have probably kept the ball in hand instead of giving it away there. Asoka Jayalal tries to fend off Ganidhu Lakshan. And now it's here for Ashan Bandara, who puts a little chip kick through to pressurize Dixon. Dixon does well, but Gayan Salinda has the clearance kick covered. And now Mohammad Rizvi trying to get out of the way of Dik Kumbura. Dik Kumbura passes it inside to Ashan Bandara, who does really well. And Army have shown a lot of adventure and not staying on their feet, says the referee to Kevin Dixon. And so the penalty now comes Army's way.
Yes, and it shows how important it is from the kickoff to the team that receives the kickoff after scoring to get out of their territory as soon as possible. Sadun Hera, they're just taking the wrong option, going for a short chip kick, which has put Heavies again on the back foot.
So now Heavies defending on their 22-meter line. Asoka Jayalal, the Army captain, is down in back play, getting a bit of ice put on his leg. Sure, he'll be back. He wouldn't want to leave the field at this point. Army's line-out has been a little bit more accurate than Havelocks for the moment, isn't it, Dinuk? So they'll be happy with this attacking opportunity.
Yeah, they'll be, also soon after that Havelocks try to come back into the Havelocks territory and to put pressure and to see if they can score here. It'll be something that the coach also wanted, the Fijian coach. And the Havelocks on the other hand would like to keep this 9-point advantage going into half-time.
Waiting for their skipper, the Army. Wouldn't want to start without him, of course, and the referee is giving them the leeway to do that. They've kept him out here in midfield, so Senal Dilek also drops back. Army, lots of movement, and that doesn't help them as they lose the line out, a crucial line out. And a lovely ball over the top from Samantha Lakshan to Nishan Pereira, who shows and goes. Lovely little step from the former Peterite vice captain. Little box kick over the top from Rahul De Silva, but again it's read by Gayan Salinda, whose kick is not great. And now Havelocks on the front foot. They've managed to retrieve it. The big forwards waiting for it here outside. Umesh Madhushan goes himself. And now Rahul gives it to Lakshan. Hiranta Pereira. Long raking kick for Gayan Salinda to chase. He does well. And goes down the line to Kevin Dixon, who drops this one, but 4 Havelock's players back in support. Gayan Salinder makes a good tackle, and the penalty is coming. Hiranta Pereira comes from the wrong side. Asoka Jala slaps that one back to Dik Kumura, and Dik Kumura, lovely strength from him in the tackle. High knees, really difficult to bring down. Good advantage played by referee Carter there. And the counter ruck from Havelocks is good, but Army managed to retain it. And Aryapala now dribbles that one. But the referee has come back for the penalty. So good refereeing there. Dikkubar almost sparked something out of nothing. The referee was patient enough to allow the team with the ball to let something happen.
Yeah, very good refereeing. Army could have almost scored there if Dikkubar had stepped off that last player. And Khadr letting it go, and even after that letting it go for a couple of more phases. So that's something very good to notice. And off that, Army will now try to put this into touch. They're going for 3 points. Looks like they're going for 3 points, Shanaka. So trying to close the gap.
If they have confidence, or Gayan Salinder is confident of making this distance, I think it's a good call to get from 17-8 to 17-11. Then the pressure is always back on the defending side, because you know it's just one score. You can always relax when you know it's 2 scores. Hush around the Havelock's grounds. Salinder's kick is well wide. He's not striking it at all well, and this is a real problem for the Army coach, because they're getting into good positions, and if they can't convert, that's going to be a real problem for them, because they're going to have to stick to scoring tries.
Yeah, correct, Shanak. And 3 points in any game, any level of rugby is very important, and kickers these days should be there. There should be at least 2 options in your team, and that's something that Sri Lanka rugby is lacking a lot. Kicking options. Even the best team, even the tabletop team, Kandy, are looking for kickers at the moment, as Havelocks have restarted this kick with a 22-meter dropout, and Army taking the ball into Havelocks territory once again.
Big run by Manoj Silva there, who took that ball up, and Dushmantha Priyadarshana has stolen that illegally, and the referee is going to have a word with Sudarshan Muthutantri. And the hands were in the ruck, so he's going to tell Muthutantri that he needs to go to the bin. And this has happened a few too many times, Dinuk. He's such a good player, Sudarshan Muthutantri. He needs to just discipline himself and know that he's probably going to turn it over at the next phase if he doesn't get it this time. So he's got to have that patience, doesn't he? You can't afford such a good player to be sitting out 10 minutes.
Yeah, Havelocks will miss him big time. Muthutantri, as you said, is one of the best back three we have, or the third row player we have in Sri Lanka, and to miss him for the next 10 minutes for Havelocks is something that they'll need to look forward to. Need another man to step up now, and Laga will have to have a word with him after this game to tell him to be patient, as you said, and work according to the referee's call at the breakdown.
Yes, there were a few infringements in a row there for Havelocks. So that's why the referee has gone to it. And do you agree with that yellow card, Abdullah? We were talking about discipline.
Yeah, Shanaka. Just come back to that in a bit.
Well taken by Army in the middle of that line out. They've changed the point of attack as well. So very well executed there. And now they're going to barge this one forward. They've got it in control at the back. Still going Army. Now Havelocks get the bodies behind it. And it's gone to ground. And referee says no problems there. Prasad Majushankar straight in at the side. So now the referee has his arm up for an advantage. Looking for the short side. Mohammad Rizvi. Opt to stay with it. And that's really good defense from Senal Dilaka, who sends the ball laterally. Ashan Bandara with a lovely dummy, and he's over. Is he? Yes, he is. Beautiful dummy from Ashan Bandara. He had numbers over. So defense was stretched, and he exploited that gap beautifully, and the Army standoff is really putting his arm up to be Fazil Marija's deputy in a Sri Lanka jersey if he keeps playing like this.
It's a fantastic turn of pace there that just caught the Heavy's defense snapping there, Shanaka. And I think this is a critical score for Army. For the next few minutes, they'll be down, not just down to 14 players. It's not just any player that's out. It's one of their main leaders in Sudarshana Muthutantre. And I think it's an important moment now for Sandhu and Hera to get the guys together, to tell them to just maintain their composure and to just try and play as much time as possible in Army's half until Sudarshan Muthutantre gets back onto the ground.
If that kick had gone over earlier, there would have been only 1 point adrift regardless of this conversion. See how important those kicks are. Salinder's not brought his kicking boots with him from Panagura today. See if he can change things around with this kick. He's snatching at it a little bit. He just needs to speak to maybe T.S. Silva or someone who's... Oh yes, he's managed to strike that one, the hardest kick of the day so far, but does it easily, and the 7-pointer brings Army within 15-17, so 2 points is all there is in it, and the referee has blown for half-time. So an absolutely crucial score on the stroke of half-time, Abdullah, and that really set up a nice second half for us.
Yes, that's the time you want to score just before half-time, and if they can pull another score just after half-time, I think Heavies will be under a lot of pressure.
We've got some highlight clips from you as well, and this match, don't forget, is played for a trophy, and it's played for the Paxton Trophy. Mr. Paxton, a former life member of the Havelocks, and the trophy has been given in memory by Jan Vlaskamp, donated the trophy a few years ago, Ian Vlaskamp actually, who coached the Army a few decades ago. So he's given this trophy in memory of Mr. Paxton. So don't forget, this is a trophy game, so a lot at stake here, more than the actual league table as well. Enjoy the highlights clips. We'll be back with halftime action.
Now transact with over 14 million EasyCash customers via Dialog, Etisalat and Hutch. Dial #111# to register today. Now use selected commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience.
Now I can withdraw EasyCash from any commercial bank ATM which displays the EasyCash logo. Select cardless transactions. Select your preferred language. Select EasyCash. Type in the amount you need. Enter your EasyCash account number. You will receive a message onto your mobile. Enter your EasyCash PIN and send to complete your transaction.
Now use commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience. Call 7111 for more information. EasyCash, money in your mobile. Connect to Sri Lanka's largest Wi-Fi network with over 2,500 hotspots across the country. Cafes, restaurants, colleges, hospitals, bus stands, train stations and many more. Select Dialog Wi-Fi and visit wifi.dialog.lk to register and get your username and password. Choose from 4 easy ways to top up your account. Go Wi-Fi, go Dialog.
Sri Lanka is a small but proud nation, and we know we can conquer the world. So to me, it's important not to settle for anything but the best. Dialog Television is our window to the world. It brings us the widest range of knowledge, information and entertainment from across Sri Lanka and the globe, from education for our kids to the latest movies. Dialog Television, powered by the very latest in digital satellite technology, connects the world to every Sri Lankan home. Dialog is the future today.
Don't be constrained. Be versatile, be flexible. You have the power. Set talk time, SMS and data quotas to match your style and enjoy the full potential of your mobile package. It's my plan from Dialog. Absolute power to you.
To create your own plan, visit www.dialog.lk/myplan or call 1777 for more information.
Now, reserving your train tickets is as easy as reaching for your Dialog mobile. Just dial 444 and get instantly connected with the Dialog Expo Rail ticket reservation service. A new and hassle-free way to discover the breathtaking sights and sounds of Sri Lanka is now conveniently at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Dial 444 to reserve your Expo Rail train ticket today. Dialog, the future today.
Welcome back to Havelock Park. We're on the lights here in this Dialog Rugby A Division League in what is turning out to be a tense battle between Havelocks and Army. 17-15 is the halftime score in favour of the home team, but there's absolutely nothing in it because Army keep coming back from whatever Havelocks have to throw at them. We brought you some great pictures here from live pictures from ThePapare.com, and we've got our fancy drone set up as well. We'll be bringing you almost spider cam quality pictures here. Joining me in the box, Dinuk Bhaskaran and Abdullah Yusuf. It's been an entertaining game so far and it's set up a nice 40 minutes, Abdullah. We should be seeing some really close rum action.
Yes, Shanaka, I think Havelocks need to play a bit smart, at least for this first 7 to 8 minutes, because their key talisman, Sudarshan Mutatantri, is not on the field. They're down to 14 men. Havelocks, rather Army, went into halftime with a bit of momentum behind them. So Highways need to try and just play for time, just play it in Army's half as much as possible, and try and blunt that momentum which Army seem to have gained at halftime.
Army, on the other hand, will need to play with urgency, try and exploit the absence of Muthutantri, who has been a nuisance at the breakdown, to say the least. Nice steal there from Ganidul Lakshan, such an important man at the front of the line out. And Senal Dilaka now will try and run this one out of trouble. Hiranta Pereira has removed his headband, but still looking to go forward. It's a bad miss from Army in that line out. Listen, Karuna Tilaka throws it forward though. And again, like you said, Abdullah, they need to just peg things back a little bit, play out this next 10 minutes. And that's the maturity and experience that they're not showing this team.
Yeah, Shanika, one problem when you have your captain on the wing, is that it's difficult sometimes to communicate things to the players who are actually controlling, like the number 8, the scrum half, and the fly half. So that's a bit of a problem Havelocks will face, and especially with Mututantri out, they will lack a bit of leadership in that aspect. Good attacking position here for Army, as the number 8 breaks through and goes in for a breakdown. And yes, Army have got a penalty.
Still going, Ashan Bandara with a little dink over the top. Well read by Sandun Herat, but he doesn't manage to collect it. And the penalty is coming, so a chance for Army to actually go into a lead here.
Shanika again, referee Carter very strict at the breakdown, immediately informing the Heavies players that they were not maintaining their balance, going off their feet, and they have conceded another penalty to Army, which will give them the opportunity to go into the lead once again.
Well, Ifga and Salind is able to convert this. He's been a bit erratic with his kicking, kicked the hardest one and missed a couple of easy ones. And from this side of the ground, on the right side of the ground, he seems to be really pulling it well wide of the left-hand post. It's a technical issue that he needs to work with his coach about. And now with coaching becoming so specialized, Abdullah, sometimes the head coach may not actually know how to deal with this problem. And this time he manages though and puts it over. So Army go into a lead, 18 points to 17. And straight after half-time, sandwiched by half-time, were Army's 2 scores. So really crucial times to actually score points, especially against a team that have 14 men down.
Yeah, Shanik, we spoke about Heavies need to play the game in Army's half as much as possible. And they're trying to run it from their own half, and they conceded a penalty. And now they're playing catch-up rugby once again.
Samantha Lakshan with that, trying to use that 4-man second line of defense that Havelocks are employing. Rahul De Silva running with the ball. Dushmanta Priyadarshana, who scored the first try of the evening for the Heavies. He leaves the ball behind, but it's a penalty for hands in the ruck. And actually it's for leaving their feet. So referee Carter once again really strict. There's quite a few penalties that have come to both sides, and he's having a warning, or giving a warning to Asoka Jayalal. And Army may see the next yellow card if this continues.
Yes, Havelocks have already been penalized with a yellow card, and Army could follow suit if they are not careful. Shanik, we were just talking once again about the importance of Havelocks to try and play the game in Army's half as much as possible, because even that last penalty which they conceded, they tried to run the ball and try quick passes, and unfortunately for them, they found the front row forwards in midfield, and that resulted in first the forward pass being thrown, and then after that the Army prop forward, the Heavies prop forward rather, knocking the ball on.
So this is a good move from Havelocks just to eat up a little bit of time as well. Samantha Lakshan has kicked these before. Watched him play since he was under 17 at Wesley, at a time when I was actually a referee, Abdullah, so he's been around a long time. Nice height on the kick, but just wide of the left-hand upright by the looks of things. Yes, the flags stay down, but Havies won't mind this because they've got a chance to regather this ball from the start, from the restart.
Shanik, it'll be interesting to see how Coach Laga uses his bench now. I'm sure he'll start looking at a few options. I'm sure one option will be to try and bring Rimzi Jamaldeen into the game, because Lakshan has been off target today many times with the kicks, and I think in close games such as like this, these 3-pointers are going to be absolutely crucial.
Kevin Dixon bounces off one tackle but unable to maintain his feet. Referee has his arm out again for perhaps offside of the Army defensive line. Karunatilaka goes to ground. Liston Karunanayaka breaking through is Madhushan. And now we've maybe got another yellow card coming. Asoka Jalal was the man who was told about it. And he's the one who gets the yellow as well. So both leaders in the bin. And it's a crucial time again for Army as well, because Muthutantra is just about set to come on.
Shanika, there could be just the break Havelock's needed now. Comes at a crucial time when Muthutantra is also expected back onto the field. But just coming back to this call, Shanika, I think Ricardo has done extremely well in this game. He's warned the players, he's given them time to adapt to the way he's calling, but they just don't seem to have paid heed. As we see Muthutantra back onto the field, and now it's Havelock who will have an extra man for the next 10 minutes.
And that's the difference at the top level, isn't it, Abdullah? When you go to international matches, all the referees have different styles, but the players adapt so quickly to what the referee is blowing, and they're so intelligent in that regard.
Yes, and especially when you're warned, after that, at least for the next 5 to 10 minutes, you should just be conscious of that and just try and... As we see Muthutantra making a break after an offload from Samantha Lakshan, and Havelock's have an overlap here.
Madhushankar was not with the right pass there. The hooker found himself with a lot of chocolate jerseys over on the left. And now they've given Army a chance to regroup their defense. Now Samantha Lakshan. It's a long ball out to Hiranta Pereira. Kevin Dixon now with a man over. Good defense on him by Madhushankar Chandrasekhara, who's done well today. Rahul De Silva is brilliant to get that ball away quickly. And Samantha Lakshan is snapped up in midfield, but it's still available. Madhushan to Senal Dilaka. And Rahul De Silva is there once again directing traffic behind this breakdown. Now Liston Karunadilaka, the big man. Rahul De Silva takes it to the line. That's a good ball from Samantha Lakshan, but the Army line is offside. And here's 3 points for the taking for them. And what do you do here, Abdullah? Because you've already sent one man to the bin. This is pretty much in the red zone, and Army have coughed up another penalty. Do you go to your pocket again?
I think they do well to go to the pocket. Army one man down. Normally I'd say take the 3 points, but with that extra man and Muthutantra back on the field as well, they just need one try for the bonus point, but it'll be an interesting call. Happy that I'm not taking it anyway.
Don't forget you can buy all the images that we have on our site, ThePapare.com, or on our Facebook page, and all the videos that we upload as well. We're getting some cool images going forward from our brand new fancy drone. So you can buy all that by contacting the editor at ThePapare.com. That's editor at ThePapare.com. You can also call us up on 077 333 0088. If you want any of the images that you see on our sites. A lot of the players would like to have those as well, because we have some great shots taken from our touchline cameras. Not to mention people in the crowd who wouldn't mind that as well. But interesting call here, Abdullah. With a man down, they're still going, and Muthutantra back, they're still going for the three-pointer.
Points on the board seem to be the call for Havelocks. I'm sure keep one eye on the bonus point as well, but I think they realize that the game is on and they will be looking to first try and seal this game before worrying about anything else.
Lakshan does exactly that. I'm not sure that was the right call, though. I think they had Army on the back foot, under pressure with the penalties coming as well. And Dinuk, what do you think about that call?
I think for the moment it looks like they want to take the lead against Shanaka, and probably yes, 50-50 call with Muthutantra back, kicking to that line out and going against the Army forwards, especially without Ashoka Jayalal is very vulnerable. So that's something that Havelocks would think, but still they have about 8 minutes on the clock before Jayalal comes in.
Ashan Bandara to restart. Made one mistake already with the restart going out on the full. Sampath Rosa comes in place of Dileepa Niroshan. It's a long kick that Rahul De Silva feels easily. And is smashed in a late tackle from the arriving player, Sampath Rosa. And that's surely got to be a yellow card for the player who's just walked onto the pitch. Rahul De Silva has stayed down to try and assist the referee in making his decision. And now he'll probably spring right back up. And Sampath Rosa, as I suspected, Rahul De Silva is up on his feet immediately. And Sampath Rosa is in the bin. So Army down to 13 players. A real unnecessary bit of ill discipline there from a player who's just come onto the park, anxious to make an impact, but that's not the kind of impact you want to make.
Yeah, Shanak, a very bad judgment there by the player. Rahul De Silva, as you said, just came off his feet with a smile.
Well, that's not something I like to see in the game of rugby, Dinuk. We find it very often in football with players staying down and exaggerating their injuries to try and get yellow cards. And I really hope that rugby doesn't go that way. It's played with an unwritten code of respect between the players, and even if it is a yellow card, you try not to milk it. Rohit Rajapaksa is on the pitch in the back row. Umesh Madhushan seems to have gone off. In fact, it's Senal Dilaka that has gone off. He's had a good game, the Isipatana captain.
I'm very impressed with the Isipatana players. Most of the Isipatana players who have turned out to be in the Havelock's jersey, the way they've stepped up for this club level rugby, Shanaka.
Yes, they're hungry players, Dinuk, and that's something that they've always maintained. They're players who love rugby. They're born with it as part of their culture almost, as Havelock's knocked that ball on. Kanidu Lakshan missing that in the middle of the line out. And they've got players to look up to as well, in the sense that there's so many players from Isipatana who are playing at club rugby at national level. So they've got that natural progression. Kobbe Kadua being replaced for Army. Coming on is Pradeep Ratnayaka. And Ashoka Jayalal being replaced in the front row as well. So maybe Kobbe Kadua as a tactical replacement, because you need to have your front five on, or front row forwards on. It's an important time of play for Army. They're only 2 points down, but they're also 2 players down. Massive shove on by the Heavies. They realize that Army are only a 6-man scrum, and Rahul De Silva does well to get that back from but he doesn't do well enough with Mohammad Rizvi. Oh, that's a bad penalty given away. Thought that the referee missed that one, because Lasan Divishan was way in front of the player. Didn't get a call from Istachi. Ganuka Disanayak also on the park on the tight head side of the Havelock scrum, and Liston moves to the hooker position. So Prasad Madhushankar's day is done. Now with the fresh legs as well and the 6-man pack, Army are going to have a problem. They need to channel this one back pretty quickly. Really got to get it out now. And there's a penalty coming by the looks of things, that Heavies were not 5 meters behind. Taken quickly by Army. Now Aryapala looking to make a run. He scored the first try and trying to cut up this Havelock's defense when they were not ready. Can almost see the 2 players missing in that Army lineup. Long ball out to Madhushankar. It's a pretty decent kick in the end. And he chases well despite being blocked by the Havelock's first defensive line. So Army have done well. And Rahul De Silva does even better to put this into touch. Gayan Salinder takes it quickly. And now Mohammad Rizvi goes for the drop goal. And it's touched before it goes out. So it will come back for the throw into Havelocks.
A good passage of play by Army, even though they are down with 13 players. Looks like Ashok Jayalal is will be entering the field in the next breakdown. And a well-deserved rest for Ashok Jayalal. Now he can play the 80 minutes, Shanagar.
Yes, I'm sure he wouldn't have been too unhappy about getting a 10-minute breather. Hirantha Pereira taking it up. Hirantha, a fullback or fly half by trade, but doing well in the centre. Now he's been thrust into that job due to injuries. Niroshan Pereira also not available for Havelocks today. Ganuka Disanayaka taking this one forward, crossing the gain line. Dushmantha Priyadarshana does really well off the ground here. And now Hirantha Pereira to Sandun Herath. Only one man to beat. Gayan Salinder needs to make the tackle and didn't. Sandun Herath gets dragged into touch. No, he doesn't. But Hirantha Pereira will score. And that's what Abdullah was talking about early. Just a little bit of space for Sandun Herath. One-on-one with the fullback. And he's always going to win that battle.
Yeah, very dangerous, Shanaka. Sri Lanka's number one win, three-quarter Sandun Herath. They're running around the Army defense. Had one-on-one, beat Gayan Salinder. And then a beautiful support line by Hirantha Pereira to touch down under the post. And this will give a lot of confidence to the Havelocks. And now they will move more than a scoring. A lead will be just more than a score.
Yes, it will. That's a lovely bit of play from Sandun, who hasn't been in the game much apart from a couple of runs early on in the first half. Good to see him back in the action. But again, Abdullah, you were talking about rugby acumen. Gayan Salinder's technique was all over the place there. He should have made sure he didn't give Sandun Herath the inside step. Should have kept him closer to the touchline. Tried to push him out maybe and use the touchline. But just that defensive technique found wanting. Conversion is missed by Samantha Lakshan. So it's stays at 25-18, still 7 points ahead.
Yeah, Shanaka, just talking about that defensive technique again, it's they're always trying to make sure that you just give the wing three-quarter one option. When you're just standing right in front of him, you give him the option where he can either go to your right or left. And you've got to use that touch line as your second line of defense. And unfortunately, that was not done that time. But Havelocks, they have now secured their bonus point, which I'm sure will make them a bit more relaxed. Now they will just focus on trying and consolidating their position and just to make sure that they accumulate points from now on in whichever way they can.
Rimzi Jamaldeen is on the pitch as you predicted, Abdullah, and he's moved to full-back with Kevin Dixon moving to the wing. Looks like Rehan Thiagaraja's on as well. So we'll tell you what the positional changes are in just a moment. In fact, it's Samantha Lakshan that's gone off, and Rimzi with his new ponytail goes into the fly half position. He's accumulated a bit of weight, hasn't he?
Definitely has, Shanaka. But it doesn't seem to have affected his play too much. But he could always be much better if he's in better condition.
Good defense from Havelocks in midfield there, rushing up. And held up is the call. So good defense. Rimzi Jamaldeen was in the thick of that one. Tackling has not been one of the facets of the game that he is known for, but he put it in there. And it's interesting to see, Abdullah, how competition for places really makes players put their performances up.
Yes, it always does. The most successful teams are the ones with strong bench strengths, and in any sport for that matter. And Shanik, I think now you could see the Havelock's bench coming into play, and that could be the deciding factor here. Now Army are down to 13 players. I'm sure Heavies will look to capitalize on this and just put this game beyond the reach of Army.
I think it's just been 14 players now. One player has come back on, and Sampath Rosa looks like he's warming up after his all of 20-second involvement in the game. Don't forget that it's almost February, and after that we have March Madness coming up for you. You can follow all the turbulence of the big matches with all our coverage on ThePapare.com. Looking forward to the big cricket matches that all of you guys have been waiting for from the 1st of January for sure. Karunatilaka off the back to Rahul De Silva. Lovely little chip for Sandun Herath from Hiranta Pereira. Beautifully weighted. And Herath just couldn't run onto it.
Nice little chip there. Sandun almost got the ball in his hands, but the Army fullback just getting in the way on that occasion. Shanik, you can see in the tight five, Coach Laga calling on the replacements. It'll be interesting to see how Army cope with that, because it could be a crucial factor in this game. Army are just yet within one score away. So Army are not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, but it's important that they get quality possession for their backs to make use of.
And that's a good scrum. Mohammad Rizvi puts Kevin Dixon under a little bit of pressure. Takes it well this time though. Kick was not as well chased as it was previously. Now Rehan Thiagaraja stepping off the right left foot. Beautifully done by Rehan. Welcome back to the game, says Coach Laga. And that's a lovely run into the corner from Nishan Pereira. Just brought down inches from the line. And now Dushmantha Priyadarshan looking to bust his way up the middle. In fact, it's Janik Jayasuriya who's also on the park. And this has surely got to end in a score. Hiranta Pereira puts the kick in for the chase, and Lasidu Ishan can't get to the ball before it rolls into touch. Priyadarshana is screaming for the ball because there's been a infringement again, and Asoka Jalal has been spoken to. This may be a red card for his second yellow.
Yeah, Shanika, you just have to be very careful. Yes, and Army are going to be down to 14 players for the rest of the game.
Yes, I didn't see what that yellow was for. I think it might have been line offside.
Line offside. I think it could have even been a late tackle, because when Hiranta Pereira put that chip, I think he was blindsided by that late charge.
Well, that's an interesting call, because did it have a material impact on the play? Had Hiranta Pereira already kicked it, I guess it was dangerous, but this is where referees need to maintain the balance between discipline and contest, and I think referee Carter got it right that time.
Yes, I think, Shan, that's right, because you just can't let these cheap shots keep going. It's very dangerous on the player, because you're not expecting a tackle, and it can be very dangerous.
Yes, I was watching a clip recently about the best hits in NFL, American football, and it's been glamorized as the best hits, but there's nothing nice about it. As Havelocks look to put the icing on the cake, referee calls one, so that ball has moved backwards, so they have to use it now. Going short side, Mudutantri trying to spin into the corner, but good defense by Army on the blind. Now the big man Liston trying to spin his way to the line, but it's available now for Rahul De Silva. Rimzi Jamaldeen. Sadun Herath coming in off his wing, looking for work. It's available again for Rahul, who goes back the way they came. Janik Jayasuriya is tackled well. Dushmantha Priyadarshana trying to step back and straighten the line. It opens up for Rahul. Dragged down again, just a few meters short of the line, and now almost going over his... Oh, they've dropped this one. And the referee says that he will have to have a look at what happened there. He was unsighted. And Carter will come back and tell him exactly what happened, which is the correct call. There was a knock forward, and Army will live to breathe another day and keep this 7-point gap where it is.
Shanak, good teamwork by the officials there, although not quite by Havelocks. Just seeing the line at their mercy and just a bit too over-eager, resulting in a knock-on. But Army will now yet be under a bit of pressure because they'll be without a front row forward. So they'll be down to 7 players, and I'm sure Havelocks will be looking to insert as much pressure as possible to try and regain position, just 5 meters away.
Yes, a bit of white line fever from the Habbies players there. But again, with one man still down, Army will do well to get this ball back. Habbies with about 4 new players in the pack, but Manoj has done really well. And Iman Karyapala will look to run this one out. Sudarshan Mudutantri with a great tackle. But the penalty is coming and not releasing in the tackle. Again, a good call from the referee. He called it early, waited to see what would happen, and gave the penalty, Abdullah. So as far as the 30 players on the pitch go, I think the best performance so far has come from Irshad Kader.
That's right, Shanak. I don't think the players seem to have yet got the hang of the calls. I think this is something which I think the coaches need to take responsibility in addressing and educating the players as well. Because I mean, if you just take that particular situation, Army were in there just 10 meters away from their try line. They were yet under pressure, and now because of their infringement, they have been given the opportunity not only clear their lines but position as well.
Yes, indeed. Just apologizing for that 2-minute break in coverage there on our video. Just having a few technical issues here at the Havelocks with the power connections. Sorry about that, but we're back live. Nice win in the line out from Army, well controlled by Rizvi, but he can't give the pass away. And that's a knock on by Ashan Bandara. That was a shame because Army haven't had the ball in a while.
It's not good delivery there from the line out. That just put everyone else under pressure. And Habbies have got position from good attacking position now, and it'll be interesting to see what option they take. Will they go for a number 8 break? Will they try and use the line to give Sandun Herath another opportunity to have a crack at the Army defense? So they have options. The scrum is pretty much in center field. So let's see what option Habbies have decided to take.
Aravind Karunaratne coming in place of Manoj Silva. So the Army veteran number 8 goes off. And Karunaratne slots into the front row. So they're a man down for the rest of this game. That's a big ask for them, with Asoka Jalal getting red carded for his second yellow. Really unfortunate, because the first one, you're just the wrong man at the wrong time, isn't it?
Yeah, Shanak, and unfortunate to lose a player like Ashoka Jayalal for Army. He has driven this team for years now, and they would have loved to have him there during the dying stages of the game, being so close.
And they have gone for the number 8 break. Karuna Tilaka forms the overlap with Rahul De Silva. Beautifully picked up by Lasan Vishan, who supported well. Outstanding bit of work there from the Science College number 8. Still going, Havelocks have it, but they seem to have lost it now, and Army have come away with it. Good bit of running here from the Army forward. Karuna Tilaka did so well, but unfortunately the rest of his team couldn't finish it off. That's a nice hanging kick for Kevin Kutti, and the penalty has already come in that breakdown earlier on. So a good move, made brilliant by Karuna Tilaka's pickup there. He's a player with so much skill, isn't it, Dinuk? And you wonder whether he's got the stature to play at number 8 at international level, but you're looking at some good front row forward material here.
Yeah, good skill, Shanaka. If you have a number 8 who can support you out inside center and running at that pace and picking up the ball like that, he should be a handful. And I'd like to see him even dropping back for that high balls and trying to use his skills with the back three. That would be interesting to see how he does, if he does so in the future.
Yes, these young players for Havelocks have really shown some promise. Except for Dushmanta Priyadarshana. All the other players lining up for that line-out, players with less than a couple of years of club rugby. Beautifully done at the back. And it's unfortunate, really unfortunate, because the Army player just couldn't hold on to that. And now a chance to counter-attack for the Havelocks. Nishan Pereira does well to bump off one tackle, but the referee has said that there was an accidental offside. And they'll come back for the scrum. So Rehan Thiagaraja has shown us what he can do. Dinuk, we were talking yesterday about how he is the fastest player in Sri Lanka at the moment. A shade ahead of Vishwamitra Jayasinghe. And that's exciting news for Matt Turner, who will be back soon.
Yeah, and that'll be something he'll be looking forward to, a bit of pace from the local players. And if Rehan Thiagaraja can get up to that form that Matt Turner would like to, I think Vishwamitra Jayasinghe is heading that way with a couple of superb tries yesterday. So if Rehan Thiagaraja and a bit more weight in the forwards for that sevens team will be a handful for Sri Lanka going into this sevens in about a couple of months.
Great defense from Rahul De Silva, read the number 8 break really well and just stepped out enough to prevent the pass. Good ball retention from Dinush Aryapala there. That's a nice breakthrough from Army, but that's again the correct call from the referee. It's technical. Did it affect play is a question we have to ask, but it's the right call because the Army player just barged straight through on the defense. And even if it impedes the defender, it doesn't have to knock them over, but it just needs to put them off the tackle. Then you're interfering with play and the penalty is correctly awarded. Saw one yesterday as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Down in Valisara, missed kick once again, miscued by Rimzi Jamaldeen. Army now will try to use this kick and chase.
Massive chase up by the number 27 from the Army team. That is Mahesh Veerasinghe. Some real pace that he showed to put Kevin Dixon under pressure. Muthutantri now puts his shoulder into the tackle. And Janik Jayasuriya does well to control that high pass. And now Thiagaraja to Hiranta Pereira. Hiranta Pereira is going at pace and it's a lovely ball inside. And Thiagaraja is going to score on his return from injury. Outstanding bit of work from the Havelocks outside backs. Army had done so well, but there's just too much quality outside for this Havelocks team. And it was a superb try scored by two really talented young players.
Superb try, Shanaka. Nice running angle of Rehan Thiagaraja. And these guys are just off school, couple of years off school, and Sri Lanka will have a bright future. So much pace, so much talent, and nice drop off to Rehan Thiagaraja from Hiranta Pereira to go under the post.
You can see a heavily bandaged left arm from Rehan. He's suffered an elbow injury early on in the season, and hopefully he'll be able to really maintain his fitness, because you can see how deadly he is for Havelocks. Surely it's worth a starting place when he regains full fitness. And luckily for Rimzi Jamaldeen, that missed touch kick didn't cost his side. Strokes that one easy enough. And Havelocks go into a commanding lead now. 33 points to 18. 32 points to 18, I apologize. Still only 14 points away for Army if they can come up with two quick tries, but they're down a man. and they just haven't been able to string the phases together like they did in the first half. Sampath Rosa makes a legitimate tackle this time, but Muthutantri spins out of it. Brilliant work by Sudarshan Muthutantri. So much strength. Looks for support. Nobody's been able to keep up with him. And now he does really well with his arriving players. Dushmanta Priyadarshana always looking for work on the fringes. Ganuka Disanaika piles in. Jamaldeen. Now they've got men over on the outside. Hiranta Pereira gives it to Kevin Dixon. Dixon looks for the inside ball. Army knock it back, but just beating Rehan Tyagaraja to the ball is the Army defense. But they've got the knock forward coming. And Army will have a scrum to defend now. Speaking about our man of the match, we have to pick one at every game. Dinuk, who do you think we can discuss as men of the match this time?
A bit tough.
I think Hiranta Pereira has been outstanding today. He's created a lot. He scored a try as well.
Dushmanta Priyadarshana also one of the candidates, Shanaka.
He's done well in what has been a dominant performance from Havelock's pack also. Lasindu Ishan has played the entire 80 minutes. He's been good too.
Shenal Dilak, though he was replaced, was very good in defense. So, and also if from the Army's point of view, Ashoka Bandara has created a lot of play for Army.
Rimsi Jamaldeen puts the hammer down. Thought he saw a gap, but it closed just in time. Janik Jayasuriya now looks to use his power to get over from close range, and it's a try. Janik Jayasuriya, the former Thomian, played for the Hambantota Sharks for a couple of years and now finds himself back in contention for a starting spot with good performance off the bench. So where do we go, Dinuk? Do we have Abdullah's input on that as well?
Yeah, Shanaka, I think we have quite a few candidates, but I'd probably go with Hiranta Pereira today. I think he's been very good in attack as well as defense, and he's shown a bit of experience amongst the inexperienced heavies backline other than Sanjun Herat. So I think he's a well-deserved choice for the Man of the Match award today.
Well, there you have it. Commentary team has chosen Hiranta Pereira as your man of the match today. A commanding performance from him. Showed a lot of skills, showed some good ball movement, also showed little nuances with his chip kicks and little weighted grubbers for people to run onto, and has been pretty good in defense as well. Lasindu Ishan also deserves a commendation for his performance. Ganidhu Lakshan has been good in the line out too. Umesh Madhushan, always steady players. And we'll discuss all that and a lot more on the breakdown when we review this weekend's action. That video will be up for you on the ThePapare.com site on Tuesday or Wednesday, the latest. And Havis can relax a bit now. Scored almost 40 points, but it's been an entertaining game, made even more so by a really good performance from referee Carter today, Abdullah.
Yes, Shanaka, he's policed the breakdown extremely well. He's been fair to the players as well. He's communicated to them what his expectations are. Unfortunately, both teams haven't quite managed to adapt to his method of officiating the breakdown, and I'm sure it's something they will go back and work on. And also, Shanik, we just spoke about heavies, the bench coming into play, and I think it was clearly evident that their superior bench has had an impact where it looks like it's going to be a very convincing win. Although up until about the 65th to 70th minute, it could have been anyone's game.
Yes, that's the difference between the champion sides and the mid-table sides, that you play rugby for 80 minutes, and you can because you've got 23 players as opposed to 15. As Jamaldeen strokes that one over for Havis to near the 40-point mark. And we've seen that at the Rugby World Cup this year or last year as well, didn't we, Abdullah, that the smaller teams are hanging on till about the 65th minute, and then just the quality of the bench and the conditioning comes through for the bigger teams.
That's right, Shanak, and it always tends to be the point of difference between the good and the better teams.
So the last rights to be read out to Army at the moment. Gayan Salinda will hope to spark something for his team. Army have not stopped trying, and that's a really good aspect of this Army team. They really want to try and do their best in every game. It's quickly taken. And it's a little messy, but Army will want to come away with this one. Rimzi Jamaldeen with a bad mistake off the kickoff. But Havies have managed to retain it. And the counter ruck from Army is good, so Havelocks have to go again before trying to clear this one. And Jamaldeen just manages to find enough on this to get his team out of immediate trouble. And Army will have a last chance, maybe for a consolation try. They deserve it. They were hanging in there and went into the lead early on in the second half. But since then, as we said, the Havelocks have just had too much quality off the bench, and also a period of time where they were down to 13 men really stretched them.
Yes, Shanak, I think they would have played about quarter of this game with one man down, and in the final analysis, I think that will always take its toll on your team.
They go to the front through Kobbak Adwa. The big man rumbles it forward on a big bust up the middle by Manoj, who has been steady and strong today, and the Army forwards now looking to really make a difference. Good strength from Lasindu Ishan in that tackle. Here's Manoj Bandara again. Ganuka Disanaika did brilliantly to get out of there, but the referee still said it wasn't quick enough. That's not a good kick, and Kevin Dixon has fielded it quickly, but the referee is going to come back for the penalty. It's obviously not enough time for Army to go for the posts here. So they will maybe take a scrum perhaps, but they've got one forward down, so they can't afford to do that. So they will go for the line out and back themselves from there. It's the last move, so they can't do that. So they have to tap and go, and Kobbak Adua runs into the wall that is Lissan Karunanayaka. Great counter ruck from Lasindu Ishan there again. He's made a real nuisance of himself at the breakdown, legally. Leon says the referee no accidental offside, and Jamaldeen does well to hold up the Army attacker. They've got the ball again through Kobbak Adwa. Army with a last-ditch effort to try and salvage a try in this game. Now it's there for Bandara. Bandara with the little dummy through, stepping. He could have had a long pass out for the open man, but chooses to go himself. And the line is offside again, and I'm wondering why referee Carter is not going to his pocket now. Maybe it's too little too late, but Ashan Bandara had Mohammad Rizvi yawning, and that's really not a good option. Rehan Tyagaraja gratefully thumps this into the dead ball area, and unfortunately for Army, they can't finish off with a try, but they've been pretty good today. They've done what they can through limited possession, and it finishes 39 points to 18 in favor of Havelocks, who have come through with a commanding performance despite those injuries. Abdullah, we were expecting it to be a tougher game for them, but it has been a quality performance from this Havies team.
Chanaka, I think they'll be pretty happy with this performance. At one stage, it looked like it was going to go down to the wire, but Army losing a key player in their hooker, I think going down to 14 men, having to play that last quarter with 14 men, I think had an impact. And with those subs coming off the bench for Heavies, that just took the game away from them.
So that's a confirmation of the score for you at 39 points to 18. And the key stats here for you, we've had 6 tries scored by Havelocks in an entertaining performance. Visitors only managing 2, and some crucial conversions also at a time when the game was in the balance from Samantha Lakshan kept Havelocks in front. and then towards the end they just ran away with it. And we'll have sent a message to Kandy that this may not yet be a one-horse race. They've got the bonus point they needed, and they will look for the other bonus points in the upcoming games as well, and go up rather to Nittavela with everything hanging in the balance for that final game.
Yeah, Shanaka, I think Heavies have given them the opportunity to take this the league decider into the final weekend, and that's all you could ask for at this stage. But they yet have a few challenges coming up, and I think one area they'll need to address is the place kicking, because they would have been comfortably away very much early in this game if Lakshan was on song today, but unfortunately no, he wasn't. So they do have a quality place kicker in Rimsey on the bench, so it'll be interesting to see how they plan to bring him into the game earlier.
Well, that's it from us here at Havelock Park. From Dinuk Bhaskar and Abdullah Yusuf and myself, it's a good night from the Heavies. We'll join you next week with all the live action.
Now transact with over 40 million EasyCash customers via Dialog, Etisalat and Hutch. Dial #111# to register today. Now use selected commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience.
Now I can withdraw EasyCash from any commercial bank ATM which displays the EasyCash logo. Select cardless transactions. Select your preferred language. Select EasyCash. Type in the amount you need. Enter your EasyCash account number. You will receive a message onto your mobile. Enter your EasyCash PIN and send to complete your transaction.
Now use commercial bank ATMs to withdraw EasyCash at your convenience. Call 7111 for more information. EasyCash, money in your mobile. Connect to Sri Lanka's largest Wi-Fi network with over 2,500 hotspots across the country. Cafes, restaurants, colleges, hospitals, bus stands, train stations and many more. Select Dialog Wi-Fi and visit wifi.dialog.lk to register and get your username and password. Choose from 4 easy ways to top up your account. Go Wi-Fi, go Dialog.
Sri Lanka is a small but proud nation, and we know we can conquer the world. So to me, it's important not to settle for anything but the best. Dialog Television is our window to the world and brings us the widest range of knowledge, information and entertainment from across Sri Lanka and the globe, from education for our kids to the latest movies. Dialog Television, powered by the very latest in digital satellite technology, connects the world to every Sri Lankan home. Dialog is the future today.
Don't be constrained. Be versatile, be flexible. You have the power. Set talk time, SMS, and data quotas to match your style and enjoy the full potential of your mobile package. It's my plan from Dialog. Absolute power to you.
To create your own plan, visit www.dialog.lk/myplan or call 1777 for more information.
Now, reserving your train tickets is as easy as reaching for your Dialog mobile. Just dial 444 and get instantly connected with the Dialog Expo Rail ticket reservation service. A new and hassle-free way to discover the breathtaking sights and sounds of Sri Lanka is now conveniently at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Dial 444 to reserve your Expo Rail train ticket today. Dialog, the future today.
Dialog Self-Care app is Sri Lanka's first and only award-winning app and is the best in the region with trilingual support. So we further improved the app to give more power and control to you. Even more powerful now, with over 50 dialogue services at your control anytime, any place, in your own preferred language. New services for Club Vision members. Step onto the world of self-care possibilities. Download now for free.
This is iPhone 6s. Not much has changed, except it responds to the pressure of your finger. So you can peek into stuff. And pop stuff open, which changes how you play a song. Read a text. Read an email. Read the news. Wait, you read the news?
Yep.
Of course you do. Now you can change apps like this. Pay at more places like this. And the new color looks like this. It's rose gold, it's awesome. And Siri is more helpful than ever.
Hey Siri, show me photos of tortellini.
Here are some images of tortellini. Maybe get takeout? The camera shoots 4K video now, which changes how your movies look. Nice. Even selfies have changed. Now your screen is the flash. That's gonna get like 1 million likes.
Thanks.
Actually, photos themselves have changed. They move now. You just touch them. So yeah, that's what's changed.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue. The dreams that you tend to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh.
Serving over 240 million customers across Asia. Axiata, advancing Asia.